Now it's time to move on with our third technical session.
We all know negotiation is not an easy task. They say science of negotiation involves understanding the power of dynamics. And the art of negotiation lies in the ability to balance assertiveness with empathy and flexibility with firmness.
And to give more insights on the topic, the science and art of negotiation, let me take this privilege to invite Professor S. Raghunath on dais, please. And I request CA Sanjeev Hadimani, Hubli Branch Vice Chairman, to escort him and welcome him with the book. A huge round of applause to our speaker, Professor S. Raghunath, on to the dais.
Now, Dr. S. Raghunath was Dean and Professor of Strategy Area at IIM Bangalore. He specializes in strategic alliances and strategic leadership. He has researched these topics, taught them to the postgraduate and doctoral students and executives, and consulted with major Indian companies and multinational corporations. For the past 20 years, he has offered senior management programs in business negotiation to over 256 companies, both domestic and multinational. And he is the chairman of South Asian Board of Academy of International Business.
Good afternoon to all of you. Is this audible? When I was invited to speak on this topic of the art and science of negotiations, I was reminded of a very old phrase I had learnt in school days. Carrying coal to Newcastle. Have you heard of that phrase? The Newcastle is the place where all coal mining happens and you're trying to carry coal to Newcastle. Or trying to pour the sacred water into the river Ganges. So, when I come and meet all of you, I always feel that you are people who know so much of negotiation. What is it that you want to really learn about negotiation? But in any case, I have been educated by CA Mr. Pramod, CA Madam Sujata, and several others that there are many questions and issues that you face, especially when you are engaging in your professional work. So, to the best of my understanding, I will try and see if there is something very relevant or useful to all of you. Generally, at IIM Bangalore, we run a 3-day program, which is about close to, if you look at 8 hours, about 24 hours of what I would call as deliberations in a 3-day workshop format. So what I'm trying to do today is to encapsulate what I think might be relevant to you. So please feel free at the end to ask questions or to, offer your comments when I complete my initial remarks. So if you look at this whole idea of negotiation, are you able to see the chart? You're able to see? Right. In negotiation, the reason why we say we negotiate is that in the world of negotiator, there is no absolute value. I want to repeat this again. In your training, you have been told asset value, you look at certain expenses, you amortize, you go by rules, right? Everything is kind of clearly laid down. But in the world of negotiation, there is absolutely no fixed value for the same asset or the same item of expense or the same item of revenue. Let me illustrate this very simply. So I have this bottle of water. Here inside this very nice auditorium, I am being offered this bottle of water for 15 rupees, 15, right? 15. I am very thirsty and I'm here and I have been asked to pay 15 rupees. Will I pay that? I will. Now, this is the same bottle of water. I am now in Jaisalmer. I am in the deserts of Rajasthan. At this hour, I am riding a camel, sightseeing, okay? Cooling glasses, hat, on a camel. And there is another camel which comes by with the ice box, with the same bottle of water. And he asked me for 50 rupees, not 15, 50 rupees. will I buy this bottle of water or not? Obviously, we know the answer, it is obviously there. So the point in negotiation is, the fundamental theme in negotiation is, there is no absolute value in this universe. Just think about it. Nothing has absolute value. Everything has relative value. Everything has relative value, including our professional services. Everything has relative value. So when you look at this particular diagram, I hope you are able to see it. Are you able to see it on both sides? Right. You look at the component on cost, right? And you look at the client value type. We in our life, when we do our statutory audits, we do our compliance piece, when we are hired for very fixed things, right? Those are all efficiency, value-based clients. They are looking for intrinsic contribution we make to their life, whatever that life is, right? Then there are other clients. They are not looking at cost. They are looking at cost plus benefit. These guys, they want you to do what they want you to do, but they are very keen to use your domain expertise, your experience, in going a little beyond what they have engaged you for. So these are all value-added clients. They buy milk, not because they buy milk, they want the cream on the milk. So, that's where they are. Then there are a third category of clients. They engage you for the same thing. If you look at the value, in the value equation, they are there because they are trying to check whether you can be made a partner in what they do. So they will start as efficiency-based clients offering you, small things to do. They may graduate into clients who are seeking more of your expertise, less of all that, what they offer you to do. And the third category is a category which says, no, it is not just your expertise. We are trying to now look at greenfield ventures. We are trying to expand. We are trying to diversify. And we want to see whether you could become partners in terms of that orientation. Now, the reason why I thought this might be a useful framework is, I was told that, when it comes to structuring your fees, many of you, I have been told, I don't know this, okay? So many of you face the hassle of how do you impress upon the client the value of your time and effort, and how your fees must be commensurate to the value that you bring in. So I just thought that, this kind of an analysis which we do in many commercial transactions can be useful to you when you look at clientele. That there are clientele who always go on L1, all of that, right? Public sector, government related, all that stuff. Then there are others who say it is not just you and what you bring, but the expertise and the kind of knowledge that will help us. And the third, which says that we will try to grow our ventures with you as partners. So when we look at these customers, so in other words, what my very humble recommendation can be that whenever you look at a client, you never look at the service that you offer. The service may be the same. The service may be the same like this water. But the service in the context in which you are offering is very different. So the efficiency-based guys are only looking for you to sign off wherever you have to sign off and you pay whatever they have to pay. These are all level 1 clients. So the categorization is level 1 efficiency, level 2 not just efficiency, but saying that you will actually give them your insight, your knowledge, the kind of people you deploy. All of that matters to them because they are trying to find people who will help them with their problems and not exactly the kind of contract that they have engaged with you. And the third category, which believes that it is not problem solving alone, But you, as their business partners, almost somebody who mentors their business, somebody who actually helps them diversify and grow their business. So that categorization is the ultimate categorization. So if we divide this whole thing, I hope you are able to again see the screen, into problem, required solution, perceived differentiation, and the fees, you will notice that efficiency-based or mere audit-based clientele, they are all low and price-driven clients. So you cannot try and aspire more with that category because they are in the mandi or the market of potato and onions. They are like that. So they will be hovering there. But there are others who are going beyond. They are actually comparing you with competitors, saying that, you have this experience, you have this domain expertise, there are others there. Would you give us your time and talent? So it is a little more negotiable. But when you reach the third category, all of it is so value driven in creating new business value that you then become partners, and the way you negotiate with them also becomes very, very different. So in other words, what are we saying? We are saying that as a negotiator, you are negotiating different levels of trust. At the core basic level, it is performance and personal relationship. You get a certain audit contract, you get a certain assignment only because you have a network, you have a relationship. They want you to sign off on the dotted line, give your observations and do what you have to do. Those are at the efficiency level, they only trust your intervention as to what you do. The second level, where they are looking for more value addition, these guys, they are paying attention to your track record. They are paying attention to your problem solving ability. So they are not just trusting your intervention. They are trusting specific individuals or persons. In other words, it is personalized expertise that they are seeking. It is like the family doctor or the family tailor or the family whatever, family beautician. Nobody goes to a different beautician or a barber. Everybody wants the same one. So, it is much more. It is deeper. It is deeper. And then finally, when it comes to saying we are creating collaborative business, they trust your firm. They trust not just you as partners, but they also trust the guys who work below you, the guys who are at the cutting edge, at the interface level, everybody. So they are completely in you, thinking that you are part of what they do. So let me summarize all that I have been saying so far. You look at these two X and Y axis, right? The Y axis, if you look at the Y axis, it is the importance of the services that you offer. The X axis is the difficulty of substituting you and your firm with some other firm. So it is about alternatives. So at the lowest level, when we do transactional based professional work, where the transaction is given a value, everything comes down to bargaining, right? It's basically that. But the moment we bump it up and say we are giving value addition from our expertise, which goes beyond that, then it becomes relationship and value added based. And finally, when we become business partners, mentors, advisors, collaborators, that is where the dimension is that we are also in some sense assuming the risk of that business very notionally, and we are treated very, very differently. So the other framework which comes up in this is the elements of what we call as principled negotiation. If you look at the principled negotiation framework, it is basically a process framework. It is like saying you have dosa batter, idli batter. Now how do you actually make a dosa or idli out of it, right? It's called the process framework. So how do you translate all of this? Now we have this great idea that we will now classify clientele, right? But how do you transfer it when you really negotiate? is the question. So when we look at that question, the first recommendation is you must separate the people from the problem that they are trying to address. Now, this is a very sensitive matter. You know, if you look at any transaction that happens professionally, most of it is on through words, through voice, right? And through visual, that you see a person, right? You see a person. In your view, and there is a lot of research in this area, which is the most impactful dimension? Words, voice, visual. Many views here. I would like to listen to your views. Which is the most powerful amongst the You can give a microphone. You have a microphone for people? No? No microphones?
Is it
available?
visual, sir?
Who's that? Oh, you're sitting. Okay, okay, visual. Okay. Anybody else? Nobody has an opinion?
Sir, I think it's words.
Words. Either words infuriate or endear, right?
Sir,
Words.
I think all three combined together will have a greater impact.
Madam,
have only one
thank
option.
you very much. We did not know that. I never asked you that question. What did I ask? I said amongst the
yes.
three.
So then it should be the words.
Thank you. Anybody else? No point of view. Somebody must have a point of view.
It depends on the person whom we are talking to. Sometimes to somebody words, to somebody could be voice, to somebody it could be visual.
If you're talking to a deaf person, there is no point in having words, right?
Sir, it should be visuals because as soon as we see any brand,
Who is that?
yeah, I'm here.
Where are you? Oh, yeah.
So as soon as we see any brand, logo, anything, we trust that. So I think visual create that.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
So I would say that voice has a very big impact. Depends on how you modulate it.
Lovely. Very nice. Are you in the media and entertainment industry?
I'm a practicing chartered accountant.
Oh, practicing. That I know, but beyond that I'm saying. He's an orator. Oh my God, okay. Lalu Prasad Yadav, what does he have? Lalu Yadav. When he was the railway minister, he was the chief minister. Everybody used to go behind Lalu and take all his footage and put it on the television, running all the time. Right? No views? Finished? Sorry? Visual. Okay, visual. Those who are sitting way behind, there is no opinion. Yeah,
I think it is voice.
it is voice, okay?
Sir, can I?
Yes, madam.
It is at the time when we first meet, it is visual impact because that is where the physical appearance comes. Then it is the choice of words what we use and the modulation. That is the voice.
Thank you. What happened? Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it should be visual, sir.
Visual.
It should be visual.
My goodness gracious, so many of you have voted for visual. And the actual field result shows that amongst all the three dimensions, the most impactful dimension is visual. So, taliya baja do, those who said visual. It's visual. You'll say, how is that? That is because, if you remember, those of you who are grandmothers and grandfathers, or those of you who are fathers and mothers, or those of you who have nephews and nieces if you're not married, you know the little one which is toddling on all the four always goes to a electrical socket which is way down in houses. You'll try and put that little finger into that hole to investigate, right? Now the parent or whoever is the elder are there tries to tell that toddler, don't put your finger inside, right? The toddler doesn't know language, cannot speak. God only knows how it would make sense of what is being said. But the toddler will either continue to put that finger in, if you to call your bluff, because sometimes you don't look like you will do anything, right? Or if you look like very threatening, then will not do it, because It is very visual. So, through actual field study, they have discovered that all three, as Madam informed all of us, that all three are very important and, giving value. But more than words, much more than voice, it is visual or body language. We always look at a person and there are signals coming into our head saying, do we believe this or we don't believe this? Do we trust this or we don't trust this? Do we actually go with this person or we don't go with this person? Irrespective of what has been said. Okay? So that's been the research on the ground, which brings us back to this whole thing about we've got to separate people from the problem. As somebody here said, many people are not articulate enough. They are not very good with words. Many people do not even have a proper voice. Vocal cords are not very good. It doesn't come out right. There are many people who talk through their nose. Have you heard them? Nasal interloculators, right? The guys who talk through their nose. You can't understand what this is. All of that doesn't matter. What matters is, what is the sense that you get out of that person? So, the first rule in negotiation, discount words, discount voice, pay attention to the visual dimension. What is it that you are getting in terms of vibes? Okay, the first thing. Second, don't focus on positions. Many people take positions in negotiations. If you don't turn in your proposal to the RFP we are put out by 5 o'clock today, we will not consider it, or something like that. Or there are others who say, you know what, this is the price of this proposal till 12 midnight tomorrow, after which the price might rise. There are a lot of people who say that, right? All these are positions. When everybody says this or, those are all positions. A negotiator doesn't care about positions. The negotiator is figuring out what is the interest or what is that exact value below what is being stated is driving that position. Are we getting this? So it is going deeper into the why of a position. Why of a position. And how do we get to the why of the position? Do you know how we get to the why of the position? By using a questioning formula. So we are not policemen, right? You don't interrogate somebody in a negotiation. No, you don't do that. You don't fact check, you put 2-3 questions here and there and try to do a 360 and find out he's telling the truth or he's telling a lie. Not just that. There are questions which relate to facts. There are questions which relate to concerns, worries. You understand? Some nagging question deep within them. And the third is the explicit need, that is, what is it that that person actually wants? So, in negotiations, I don't know if you have ever faced very difficult situations. When two parties are having a conflict, they will say there are 10 things which are wrong with the other side. So both sides will contribute 20 things, right? 10 will say something is wrong and 10 will say something is wrong for the other. They will give you 20 questions. The point in this is, when people say 20 things are wrong, do you as a negotiator go and solve them or not? How many of you will say, yes, take the 20 and solve? How many of you will say, no, that's not what you should be doing? I want answers. 20 questions have been put up, 20 concerns have been put up, 20 problem statements have been put up. Things going wrong. Clients do it all the time. When you do internal audit, for example, they do an audit on your internal audit, right? They will come back and say, you know what? You said 10 things, we have 20 things to say about you. And you are saying, what the hell are they talking? But they do that, right? They are clients, they will do what they want. So, how do you, so if there are 10 problem statements about the other side which are being stated, and the other side, the opposite side states another 10, so you have 20. Should we address those 20 or not? Question, yes, no. How many of you say yes, we should address if they have been brought up? How many of you will say no? Yes, sir. Any microphone here, please? Here, right in the front.
Sir, I would say no, because it's not easy to sort out all the problems.
Which have been stated.
Yeah, which have been stated. They will remain, even if they are ironed out, new ones will erupt. To stay away from that is the best course.
Perfect,
I think
sir.
negotiation will be.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
When somebody states a problem, there's the ego along with it. So it's very difficult to handle those problems. So downplay those problems and overplay the positiveness, and then we know.
Continue with it. Any other point of view?
Sir, yes, I think it is a no, because addressing those 20 issues will only give rise to another 20 more by giving further explanation to that. So it is actually a no.
Would you like to say that again?
I mean, by the time I give some solutions or addressing those 20 issues, they will figure out some more issues in those clarifications that I give. So probably it will only add on to the problem list rather than giving a solution to that.
I would say that if you don't address the problem, the client would never go ahead with it. So I will address the problem, but I will start with those problems where I am affirmative to what he says is the point. So once I agree with him on a few points, and then after the important points where I don't agree with him, I take them at the last.
Yep.
Sir, I am here, sir.
Yeah, I can see you. Yes.
Sir, it is not my business to solve their problems. My problem is that what I am doing is correct. I want to sell my product. If you want to take it, or else don't take it.
Right, thank you. Does that cover everybody? Now comes the secret sauce. So there was a very large company, and it was a market leader in 3 regions of our country. You know regions, right? North India, South India, East India, West India. 4 regions. In 3 regions, they were market leaders. In 1 region, they could never become market leader. So at IIM Bangalore, we have this habit of taking assignments like you all take. So we also take. But in our code of conduct, we don't advertise or we don't market. We just take it if somebody asks. So I was asked to help this company unravel why in 1 region of this country, they are never getting to this position of number 1 in that region. So I asked them, can you give me the names and addresses of all the key accounts you have lost in the last 5 years? Who have lost means those who are doing business, they stopped. They gave. I said, will you now tell them that on your behalf I am doing this work and I want to find out why they stopped? Sujata madam has come. That means I must stop, isn't it? I should continue? Okay. So I took all that data. I went and met all the very large companies who are their key accounts, stopped doing business. And what I found out was very amazing and very eye-opening to me, who's doing this work. See, for the rest of them, they had played the lowest cost provider with a passable quality elements in whatever they were supplying. Okay? So they were beating the market in 3 regions. In the region where they were not becoming market leaders, those guys told me, this company does not understand that we are not interested in the cost, in the pricing, in the quality that they provide. We have a unique explicit need. I said, what is that? So all of them were very large companies who were trying to do just-in-time inventory management, just-in-time production balancing. You understand? Balancing the various production shops within. And they said, this is our need when there is a supplier. We went on telling them that this is what we want. They never understood. They all went on saying that they are giving the lowest price and they are dumping a lot of volume. And it increased our total cost of ownership. You understand? TCO. The TCO of the company simply went through the roof. We cut all relations. So the point here is that when somebody gives you 10 problems, somebody gives you another 10, they put 20. We are nobody to prioritize in that 1 to 20. Whether the 18th problem or the 15th problem is the one they want to address first. And they have, in their head, given lesser weightage for many others. We don't know that. We put our weightage and say, this is what it is. Nobody accepts it. Okay? This is a secret in negotiation. That we all of us who know a lot, assume what is the value that the others are seeking. We are wrong. We're totally wrong. I cannot assume that just because I have been called here, that none of you know about negotiation. No, wrong. You are all negotiators. I don't know a damn thing about what you want. You understand that? So the first thing in trying to be better in negotiation is that you discover prioritization from the client through explicit needs. What are explicit needs? They will say, I want. They will say, I need. They will say, I would like to have this. And every other statement that is made in terms of concern questions, fact questions, which reveal, they don't have that kind of value that you generate. In other words, what we are trying to understand now is the conversion of client problems into needs. So if you ask me, what is the one takeaway all of us must have is, never assume that we know more than the client. Take that off. First thing, take it off. Because, there is a very bad joke about the word assume. You know the joke? Anybody here? ASSUME, right? So ASS as, then space, you, and ME, me. Made an ass of you and me when you assume. And when you assume, we don't know how to structure the contract. We don't know what value to assign to what activity. We don't understand how are we going to create more credibility and trust with the clients. Thank you very much.
The forum is open for questions.
Yes.
In a group negotiation, when certain group of people sitting this side,
Can you hold it closer?
when some set of people sitting this side of the table, some set of people sitting on that side of the table, how do we know who are the principal negotiator from their side, and how do we identify that?
That's very easy. So, what's your name?
I'm Niranjan. Niranjan.
Mr.
My
Niranjan,
name is Niranjan.
Mr. Niranjan, for the longest time, we were negotiating with all kinds of people, and then we negotiated with as you said, with a group of Japanese. Any of you have negotiated with the Japanese?
Myself.
Yeah, very good, very. It is something like our Indian army doing firing in the border areas. How many of you are former army men here? Army men. Any army men here? Former. Can't be now. Civilian now, but army earlier. Nobody. So the army has a principle. What is the principle? They are facing the enemy. They want to find out where the enemy is. You know what they do? Tell me what they do. They do a entire peripheral 180-degree firing. They fire all across the entire landscape. Why do they do that? Why do they do that?
No idea.
Come on.
No
come
idea.
No, come on. They're taking all that bloody ammunition and just doing like this. Why do they do that?
So that somebody will retaliate and they will know.
They will know the position from where retaliation is coming. So, in negotiation too, what are the trial balloons, as you rightly said? You ask some questions looking at somebody, but the answer will come out from somebody else. Did you get it?
Yes, yes.
You will be facing somebody, that fellow won't answer. It will come out from somewhere else.
Got it, got it.
So that's the way to test. You throw things at anybody. So that means in negotiation, you have to be very good in observing, listening. You have to listen, very deep listening. Observe, listen. Observe, listen. That's it. Then you'll catch as to who is doing what.
Got it, got it. Thank you, sir.
Hello? Sir, can you give any case studies, any examples that you have faced during negotiation?
You please come forward here. Udhar aao. Let's see you. You are far away. Nobody is able to see where you are and who you are and how you look. Now you are visible. Yeah, bolo. Yeah.
So can you give some case studies on your experiences in negotiation?
Sorry?
Any case studies, your experiences?
You are asking, are there case studies in negotiations?
No, your experiences.
Yeah.
Your experiences, can you just share that?
So where is Sujata madam? He is asking for one more session, madam. He is saying you share all your case studies and all that he is saying.
Any few, sir.
Yeah, I know. So one recommendation, what's your name?
I'm Aditya.
Aditya, we run a 3-day program here in IIM Bangalore. Come and enroll. Yeah, do that. It's on our website, so you can see which month, which day it is and all. You can enroll there. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir. Sir, with my limited experience of negotiating fees or at various levels, because I also negotiate in department also, right? So my experience has always said that it's not a win-win situation anytime. It's always either a win and the other side settles. This is what my negotiation says. Is it, you want to add anything on this, sir?
Can you say a little bit more?
So when I say one side wins in a negotiation and the other side settles for the negotiation.
Okay.
Am I, so this
So
is,
what you are saying is one side will get abnormal gain and the other side will get average gain. Is that what you're saying?
yes, sir.
Yeah, correct.
So that is what negotiation, because it's never a win-win situation in a negotiation.
No. What you're saying is possible. That is because one side is not skilled. This is like saying, if I bowl a ball outside the off stump, it can be hit for a 6, it can be hit for a 4, it can be caught and the fellow will be out. All three are possible, right? What does that depend upon? That depends upon the skill of the batsman, yaar. So similarly, what you're saying, all you're saying is correct. You know why it happens? There is no skill in negotiation. So a skilled negotiator, so I'll give you a definition, okay? Don't forget this definition. So there is a one-liner. What is the difference between an effective lawyer and an effective negotiator? Do you know the difference? One line difference. This is a joke actually, but I can say it. They say when the lawyer argues the case very well, the other side feels that they are losing their case. When the negotiator negotiates very well, the other side feels they are winning the case. Samajh gaya? There is a difference. So the negotiator always makes you feel you got the value that they actually wanted. And the smartness is to find out what is the nature of value. And you measure what should be the amount of fees you must charge. You should know that. You cannot say, this is 100 ml water, cost plus pricing, 11 rupiah. Nonsense. That's not negotiation. It can be 15, it can be 50. And that depends upon how you find out the value. Do you get it? Madam, time to leave the stage. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for giving us simple techniques and tips that are usually overlooked during the negotiation. Now we know the science behind it and art of using it, sir. With the skilled negotiator, win-win is truly possible. If anyone else still need further elaborated things and discussions on that, we can any day contact sir. With this, I request CA Prabhav Hegde to present a memento as a token of appreciation and gratitude to our esteemed speaker, Professor S. Raghunath. A huge round of applause, and there is absolutely no negotiations on that. We will be beginning with yet another interesting session for all us CAs, which will take us into transformational experience